Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be about the Natasha Denona Pastel Palette. Look how beautiful this palette is. I know there's a lot of videos out there already with multiple looks, 2 looks, 3 looks, 4, 6 looks, but today I want to play with this beautiful, gorgeous palette, my first pastel palette in my collection. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to use it. Look at those beautiful shades. All I have is my brows done. I have primed my face with my Charlotte Tilbury, the Hollywood Flawless Filter. And this is in the shade One Fair. I always forget to say it. But in the meantime, I'm gonna test out this other products, which is a skin tint. I have a video on it, and I think that video comes out probably before or after this one, but it's the Rose Ink Serum Skin Tint. And let's apply this to the face. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with the Rose Ink Skin Tint. I'm gonna have a timestamp down below on when I start using this palette. I'm only going to create a look, but I'm gonna create a look with probably a lot of the shades in the palette and test them out. I'm so excited. So this skin tint, you just have to apply it to the back of your hand and then rub your brush in it. I am so excited about this palette. I picked it up during the Sephora spring sale, and I know that I am late to the game, but better late than never. And I had to pick it up because it's Natasha Denona. Obviously, it was 20% off because of the sale, and I love the shades. At first, you know why I picked it up? Because this shades, actually, I think that they look very wearable, whether you go to work, whether you go out. I think that the shades are very wearable, so that's why I picked it up. Okay, so this skin tint looks beautiful. I'm gonna go in with a sponge to push everything in. So now I'm gonna quickly go in with concealer. I'm gonna use another beautiful concealer. This is the NYX Bare With Me Concealer Serum, another serum. So I'm gonna pump in the back of my hand. This is what the shade looks like. The Rose Ink is in the shade 020. The concealer is in the shade Light. I think it's 02 Light. So I'm gonna go in with my beauty blender, and I'm gonna apply the concealer all over the eyelid as well. And I'm gonna use this concealer as the base, but I'm going to set it with powder. So for powder, I'm gonna go in with my Pat McGrath Under Eye Fetish Sublime Powder. And let's set the under eye area here. So let's quickly move on to bronzer. For bronzer, I'm gonna use the Anastasia Beverly Hills bronzer in the shade Sunkissed. And I'm gonna use like a flat brush by Cole Beauty and just bronze up the face a bit. So today, I just went and I did my hair. So I didn't really wear any makeup, because when you do your hair, they spray you with water, they wash your hair, so there's no point in doing your makeup basically. And then I came home and I worked on taxes, did the kids' lunches for the next day for school, and now it is 7 p.m. and I'm playing with makeup, so I'm excited. I can finally have some time to sit down and play with makeup. And I wanted to test, I had this palette for a while now, and I wanted to test it out, but there's always something that comes up. This bronzer is just my favorite. I love it. So for highlighter, I'm gonna use the Catrice More Than Glow highlighter, and this is in the shade 020. I love this highlighter, and it's so affordable. It always performs so beautifully. Okay, so for blush, I'm gonna use the Rare Beauty blush. This is in the shade Bliss. Let's dab one dot on each cheek, and I'm gonna use the same brush that I used the bronzer. This is such a beautiful blush, and so quickly it gets absorbed into the skin and it just makes your skin look so beautiful. So I focus it up here first and then slowly blend it downwards. I think we have to add a tiny bit more on this side. Ooh, I love blush. What do you guys love most, blush or bronzer? I don't think I can choose. I can ask you, but myself, I don't think I can choose because I love them both equally. Okay, complexion is done. So let's jump right into the palette. I'm so excited. So this is what the outside looks like. I'm sure you guys seen it before. I didn't even take the sticker off yet, but maybe I should. But let me show you the colors first. So here is the palette up close. I have not touched the shades yet, but I'm gonna swatch the first row and show you. So here is the first row swatched, and they all feel creamy. They're so beautiful. Look at those shades. Oh my goodness. You can create a look with this first row only, and those shades go so good together. I love them. They're so pretty. So here is the second row, starting from this one right here all the way down. They look so pretty. Look at those pastel shades. They're stunning. And here is the third row, starting from this shade right here. So they're kind of all cricket, but yeah, here they all are. They're so pretty. Look at my bracelet. It's just kind of covering the shades, but yeah, here are all the shades. I suggest probably this shade right here, which is the feather shade. It's probably the best shade for doing a transition color. Okay, let's dive in, and I'm gonna go into the shade feather right here and use this in my transition, like right up here. So I'm gonna use it only as a transition, but half of my eyelid. Let's see what we can come up with. This is so beautiful. Very pigmented right away. You can hardly tell that these are pastel shades. My next shade I'm gonna go into is this nice blue, which is called Airy. I'm gonna use the same brush and use it connected with this pink above the crease. Trying to use as many shades as possible here. Very nice. I love how they work on the eye. Very easy to use. So I'm gonna clean this brush. Might as well use the same brush because it's clean. And I'm gonna use the shade, which one? Maybe this one, Zest, I think. I'm gonna go into Zest and use this in the inner corner here above the crease. I'm going to use this as a transition shade as well. Very pigmented, very easy to blend, very buttery. Okay, so we've created the transition. Now let's work with something in the crease. So for the crease, I'm going to use another BH Cosmetics brush number 10. I'm going to go with this blue right here. Let's see. No, I'm going to go in with the purple, the Bora purple right here, and do half of the crease with this shade. It's gonna be interesting, kind of to match what we have above. So add this in the crease here. So I only did half of the crease with this shade, and I'm gonna go into the shade Bubble, which is this blue right here, and use it in the crease, the other half of the crease. You can make a mistake because they are pastel shades, so they're Natasha Denona shades. So you got two bonuses there. Pastel, they're light shades, easy to blend. You keep blending and diffusing if you're not happy. And they're Natasha Denona shades, meaning they're very good. So I think I'm gonna go in with Starlet right here. I'm gonna use my finger and use this shade on the outer corner here. Look how pretty this is. Perfect. Now for the middle of the eye, I think I'm going to use this one, Adriatic. right there. But I like the limoncello too. Okay, so let's connect this with the actual red. This is so pretty. Very light. And next, I want to go with a pink, and then I'm going to go with the yellow. So I'm going to go with Duet right here. Where is it? Right there. And use my finger again. And kind of add it next to the green here, leaving that inner corner for that limoncello, the yellow after. Wow, I think this is my favorite shade in this palette, the Duet. I mean, they're all pretty. There's something about this one. Is it like a duochrome or something? Again, if you want the shades to be more intense, you can actually take a brush, dip it in here, and then spray it, which we are gonna do that with the limoncello. So let's take a flat brush. Okay, so I'm using this new brush by Luxie. This is a concealer brush, but you see how it's flat and thin? So I'm gonna go into limoncello right here, and I'm gonna grab some product on the brush, on the flat side, and I'm gonna spray it with the Milk Hydro setting spray. And let's add this in the inner corner here. It didn't do much. Let me use my finger instead. Oh yeah, see, with the fingers they work better. So use your fingers instead. And the inner corner and underneath the brow bone, I'm gonna go with Illusion right here. So again, I'm gonna use my finger for this. I'm gonna on top of that limoncello to highlight that a little bit more. And with my pinky, I'm gonna try add this in the inner corner here. This reminds me of a Pat McGrath shade. Oh, this is so pretty. Okay, for the bottom, let's go into some shades. I'm gonna go into Bellini first, right here. And I'm gonna use a small fluffy brush and just add this all over the eyelid. I mean, all over underneath the bottom lash line. Then I'm gonna go into Airy, which is this light blue, with the same brush, and add this just the outer corner here. So I'm just doing it up to the middle of my eye. Now I'm gonna go with a BK Beauty 204 brush and go into Brisk, which is this mint here, right here. It's a matte mint. And add this in the other half, connected with the blue. Those two colors are very similar, but I think we're missing something. We're missing some pink. I'm gonna go in the shade Tulle right here, and with the same BK Beauty brush, and try to add it very close to the lash line here, just to add some pink in here to match with the top. Oh, that looks pretty. But I think we're missing some shimmers. That looks very nice. I wonder if we need to put some shimmers. I think I'm gonna go into, with the same brush, I don't know which shade. Maybe I'm gonna go into this Adriatic shade right here and add this in the middle here. This is very hard to see. I wonder if I should use my finger. And add it that way. Yeah, the finger is better. It seems like the shimmery shades with the finger, they work better than a brush. And I'm gonna use my finger and I'm gonna go into Starlet right here. And I'm gonna add it right in the outer corner here. Very close to the lash line. So I'm gonna use that BK Beauty brush and blend this together. I think that the eyes turned out really, really good. So let's go into that first brush and diffuse any sharp lines here out in the outer corner. We don't want to take away from the colors. I think that looks really, really good. So underneath the brow bone, I'm gonna use the BK Beauty 205 brush and dip into Illusion and highlight this brow bone right here. This is like a duochrome, like a pink and yellow, very pretty. I think this looks very nice. What do you guys think? So I'm gonna go ahead and apply some mascara off camera. You make sure you enjoy this intermission, and I'm using the Maybelline Sky High mascara, and I will be right back. Okay, so the eyes are done. Mascara's applied. I've applied some lip liner. I've used the Morphe lip liner in the shade Foolish. It's like a nice pink. I'm gonna keep you up close so you guys can see the eyes, and then we're gonna move on to a lip product to apply, and I'll show you what I picked. But this is what the eyes look like up close. What do you guys think? I think that the eye look turned out so fun, so beautiful. I think it's wearable. I would wear this out 100%. Now let's move on to lips. For lips, I chose two products. And they're by DIOR. The Lip Glow Color Reviving Balm, and this is in the shade Ultra Pink. So I want to have pink lips today because this is not intense. This is more of a hydrating balm with a hint of color. So I wanted something more spring-like, more fun than using all those nude shades and brown shades I usually use. And then I chose the Lip Glow Oil by DIOR. And this is in the shade Raspberry. And I picked up another of the lip oils today that came in stock. And I can't wait to show you. But this is so hydrating. And here is the final look. What do you guys think? I think that it turned out so nice. I'm so excited. I think I used, let me see here. Yes, I think I used every shade in this palette. So they're all on my eyes. So I think that they look beautiful. Now, my final thoughts on this palette. I love everything else I have as my complexion. You guys know I don't need to bore you with that. But this palette, I am so glad I picked it up. I love that it's in this type of size and not one of her bigger, huge ones. The shades, you can change them in the back. So if you're not happy with the color story, you can change it however you want. But I'm very happy with how it's designed. I think the color story looks pretty. And I love each and every one of these shades. If I were to choose my least favorite, it's probably the one that's called Zest. I still love it, but it's probably my least, like this neon green yellow. But everything else looks beautiful. And I think without this shade right here, I don't think the palette would have looked interesting. Like imagine covering that, right? So it gives it this nice pop of color, and it's still, I still used it in here, you can see. But I think probably that's my least one. Every other shade in here worked wonderful on my eyelids, and they blended beautiful. They are very easy to work with. This is such a beginner-friendly palette because you cannot make a mistake with this. And a suggestion, if you don't want to use every shade on your eye like what I did, but I did it so that I can show you guys how each shade performs, how easy it is to blend. It doesn't matter what color you combine with what color, they actually all work so good together. But an idea is you can just use the pinks. You can use this in the crease, you can use this all over the eyelid, and this and this and this in the outer corner and underneath your lash line. You can just go with the greens or you can go with the blues. it has everything you need, and I think this is such a fun palette, and everything looks just beautiful. I have nothing negative to say about this palette. I was afraid to get it because I thought that the shades would not transfer intensely on the eyelid. I thought that I would spend money on this palette and the shades will not show up on the face, but I am so glad I picked this one up during the sale, and I got 20% off on this because I am a VIB Rouge member with Sephora, and I think that it looks beautiful. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. This is a perfect palette if you want to try by Natasha Denona, and it is a perfect palette for beginner, for anyone who loves pastels, loves color, because it's just, I don't know, the shades are just so beautiful. So those are my final thoughts on this palette. I hope you guys really enjoy this. I didn't create 2 or 3 looks because there's a lot of looks out there already on YouTube, and I thought I should just do something different and put all of those shades on my eyelids and show you how they look. And I love how the eye look turned out. So anyways, I hope you guys really enjoyed this. Let me know your thoughts on this palette. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe down below. It will mean so much to me. I wish you all a wonderful day. Always remember to be yourself, and I cannot wait to see you in my next one. Love you guys. Bye.